The blue glow of the holographic display lit up Admiral Catherine Martinez's tired face as she studied the enemy. 73 alien ships hung in space around Earth like giant metal spiders. Each ship was 5 times bigger than the largest, human spacecraft. The wall of ships stopped anyone from traveling past Mars. They added more ships up there, said Lieutenant Greg Hudson, pointing to the top of the display where 10 new vessels had appeared. His finger cast a shadow across the hologram. That's the 3rd time this month they've sent more. Catherine's fist tightened. They fear us. Us? Greg gave a short, bitter laugh. We only have 6 ships that can travel to other stars, and none have weapons. It's not our ships that scare them, Catherine said, leaning closer to the display. It's what humans might become. 3 years ago, the aliens had set up this blockade. 3 years of humans being trapped in their own solar system, unable to explore the stars they could now reach. The aliens called themselves the Galactic Council, and they claimed to rule over 342 different species across thousands of planets. Catherine remembered the day they first arrived on Earth, 15 years earlier. Huge ships appearing in the sky had terrified everyone at first. Then the aliens spoke of friendship and sharing technology. They promised to welcome humans into a peaceful galaxy. What a lie that had been. Instead, the Council gave humans old, outdated technology. They set strict rules about where humans could go and what they could build. They watched Earth like prison guards watching inmates. They treated humans like children who couldn't be trusted. Everything changed when Dr. Olivia Bennett created a new way to travel faster than light. Her method was completely different from how the Council ships worked. The aliens panicked when they found out. Overnight, their ships surrounded Earth. They demanded all research on the Bennett drive be handed over immediately. Admiral, called out Communications Officer Daniel Wright from his station. His voice cut through her thoughts. We just got a message from the Council's leader. They want you to meet with them tomorrow. Just you on one ship, no guards. Catherine turned around quickly. Only me? No one else? Yes, ma'am, they asked for you specifically. That's strange. She used her fingers to zoom in on the Council's main ship, a massive vessel that glowed with strange lights. Tell them I'll come. Get my ship ready for 8 a.m. tomorrow. As she walked toward the door, Catherine noticed Greg's worried face. Don't worry, she said. At least they want to talk instead of attack. That's better than nothing. Or maybe they're scared of something new we're doing, Greg suggested. Catherine's smile was cold and sharp. That's exactly what I'm hoping. The Council's meeting room was designed to make humans feel small. The ceiling towered overhead. Harsh lights shone down from above. Catherine's chair sat low while the alien's seat rose high, forcing her to look up like a child speaking to an adult. Across from her sat Overseer Vax Teal, the Council's representative for Earth. He looked like a mix between a frog and a lizard, with shiny scales that changed color in the light. His 4 eyes, 2 large ones and 2 smaller ones above them, stared at Catherine without blinking. Admiral Martinez, thank you for coming, said Vax's Teal. His words came through a translator box that gave his voice a metallic sound. Catherine kept her face blank, showing no emotion. The United Earth government respects proper diplomacy, Overseer. Why did you call me here? We have found unusual energy readings, Vax Teal said slowly, his large webbed hands moving as he spoke. Strange power signatures coming from multiple places on Earth. Our scientists are confused. What kind of energy readings? Catherine asked, trying to sound innocent. That is what worries us. These energies match nothing we have seen before. Not from your technology, not from ours, not from any of the 342 species under Council protection. Catherine's heart beat faster, but she kept her face calm. Project Doorway was supposed to be hidden from alien sensors. If the Council had found it, if you shared your sensor data with us, maybe our scientists could help explain. Admiral. Vax Teal cut her off, his scales flashing dark blue with irritation. The Council has been very patient with humans. We have guided your species, protected you from dangers you cannot understand, and tolerated your difficult behavior. In return, we expect you to follow our rules. Is that why a fleet of warships surrounds our planet? Catherine shot back. The alien's skin rippled like water in a pond. That is only for safety. The quarantine exists to protect Earth. Of course it does, Catherine said, making no effort to hide her disbelief. The Council has made its decision. You have 30 Earth days to give us all research related to these energy readings, along with any working devices you have built. After this grace period, we will take stronger actions to ensure you comply. Catherine stood up. I'll tell my government about your demands, Overseer. As she walked toward the exit, Vaxteel called after her. Admiral Martinez, the Council truly wants humanity to join the galactic community fully one day, but you must understand, some technologies are restricted for everyone's good. Your species has an unfortunate talent for turning helpful discoveries into weapons. Catherine stopped at the door and looked back at the alien. Perhaps what you really fear, Overseer, is that we might discover something you can't control. Dr. Alan Collins wiped sweat from his face. The underground lab was hot and noisy. Machines hummed and beeped all around him. 50 of Earth's smartest scientists worked at computer stations, all focused on the big round platform in the middle of the room. The platform was 30 feet across, made of a special metal that glowed slightly blue. Thick cables ran from it to massive power generators that lined the walls. The air smelled of ozone and coffee. Power levels at 87% and holding steady, called out Linda Powell from her station. Her fingers moved quickly over 3 different screens, making small adjustments. The quantum alignment is shaky but still okay. Alan checked the numbers on his own screen and nodded. Start the final sequence. This secret project, called Doorway, had started after Dr. Bennett's faster-than-light discovery. The idea was simple but revolutionary. If space could be folded one way for faster-than-light travel, could it be bent differently to create something else? The math said yes. They could make a stable connection between 2 places without traveling. The distance between them, not exactly a wormhole, something both simpler and more complex. They called them doors. Australia is ready, said Ryan Fletcher from the communications desk. His headset light blinked green. Their door is prepared for synchronized activation. Alan took a deep breath. His heart pounded in his chest. If this worked, the Council's blockade of Earth would become useless overnight. Humans wouldn't need ships to reach the stars anymore. Start synchronization. The circular platform began to shimmer. The air above it warped and bent like heat waves rising from hot pavement on a summer day. The humming grew louder, and several warning lights on the control panels flashed yellow. Power surge fixed, Linda announced, her fingers flying across her keyboard. Quantum alignment still good. Then something amazing happened. The air above the platform split open, showing a swirling darkness that slowly became clearer, like a window appearing in the middle of empty space. Through this window, Alan could see another laboratory, the Australia facility over 10,000 miles away on the other side of the world. Oh my God, Ryan whispered. It's actually working. Alan allowed himself a small smile. For 3 years they had worked in secret, hiding from both Earth governments and alien watchers. Now they had done it. Phase 1 complete, he said. Let's test it with the probe. A robot arm moved forward, pushing a small camera-equipped device through the door. On their screens they watched as it appeared in the Australian lab. The scientists there began cheering and clapping. Alan's secure phone buzzed with a message from Admiral Martinez. Council suspects something. 30 days until they take action. Work faster. He frowned. The Council's advanced technology must have detected their energy use despite all their shielding. Dr. Collins, Linda called suddenly, her voice high with excitement. Something unexpected is happening. The quantum field is growing. Alan hurried to her station. Growing how? The door is creating some kind of network effect. It's connecting not just to Australia, but somewhere else too. Her eyes grew wide as she studied the readings. There are other doors forming. Doors we didn't create. Where? Alan asked urgently. Linda looked up at him, her face showing both fear and amazement. Everywhere. In the hidden control room behind the main lab, Alan and his core team gathered around a global map. Red dots blinked on the screen, 17 of them, scattered across Earth. Each dot is a spontaneous door formation, Linda explained to the group. They appeared within minutes after our test. Are they active? Alan asked, staring at the map. No, they're waiting. Linda brushed her brown hair from her face, clearly tired but too excited to rest. It's like they're dormant, but ready? Ryan pointed to one dot in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. There's nothing there. No power source, no technology. How could a door form in an untouched jungle? Maybe they were already there, suggested Sam Wilson, the team's physicist. Everyone turned to look at him. He adjusted his glasses nervously. What if the doors aren't new? What if they're ancient? Alan considered this. You mean we didn't invent them? We rediscovered them? Sam nodded. Exactly. What if there was once a network of these doors throughout Earth, maybe throughout the galaxy, and they've been inactive for thousands or millions of years? And our experiment woke them up, Linda finished. The idea hung in the air. If true, it would change everything they thought they knew. Alan's phone buzzed again. This time it was a video call from Admiral Martinez. Her face appeared on the screen, looking tense. We have a situation, Doctor, she said without greeting. The Council fleet is on high alert. They've detected multiple energy signatures identical to yours. How many tests are you running? Just one, Alan replied. But we've discovered something unexpected. The doors are spreading. He explained what they had found. The spontaneous formation of dormant doors across the planet. Admiral Martinez listened, her expression growing more serious with each word. The Council gave us 30 days, but I don't think they'll wait that long now. How soon can you get a door working outside Earth? Outside Earth? Alan repeated, surprised. We haven't even tested beyond Australia yet. We need options, Doctor. If the Council decides to take more direct action, we need a way to bypass their blockade. Alan looked at his team, then back at the Admiral. Give us 3 days. We'll try to establish a door on the moon base. If that works, we can try Mars next. Good. In the meantime, I've ordered increased security at all your facilities. If these doors are as important as I think they are, the Council might decide that waiting isn't in their best interest. After the call ended, Alan turned to his team. No sleep for anyone. We need to understand what's happening with these spontaneous doors, and we need to get the moon connection working immediately. Sam raised his hand. There's something else we should consider. If the doors were already here, waiting to be activated, then who built them? Linda finished his thought. And are they still out there? Ryan added quietly. Alan had no answer. But as he looked at the map with its 17 mysterious doors, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to find out. Steve Garcia hadn't slept in 24 hours. As NASA's director of deep space monitoring, he was used to long shifts, but nothing had prepared him for this. His hands shook slightly as he gulped his 5th coffee of the day. Get me the Pentagon. The White House and Admiral Martinez, he ordered his assistant. Despite his tiredness, his voice stayed calm. Highest priority. On the main screen of NASA's control room, alerts flashed red. Something impossible was happening all across the solar system. Strange ring-shaped structures had appeared out of nowhere. They showed up at the same time, from Mercury's orbit all the way out to the distant Kuiper Belt. Each structure looked the same. A giant ring floating in space, miles wide. Doors, thousands of them, all opening at once. Within hours, ships began coming through these doors. Not Council ships. These were completely new designs no human had ever seen before. Some were huge, even bigger than the Council's largest warships. Others were small and quick, moving faster than anything should be able to move in space, and they kept coming. More and more ships through more and more doors. The Council ships guarding Earth panicked. Several of them fired weapons at the newcomers, but the strange ships had some kind of advanced protection. The Council's weapons did nothing to them. When Council ships tried to escape, their engines suddenly stopped working. In less than half a day, the entire Council blockade was surrounded and trapped, though none of their ships had been damaged. They call themselves the Doormakers, Catherine explained to the emergency meeting of Earth's Security Council. She stood at the front of the room looking tired but focused. On the big screen behind her, videos from space showed the alien ships, hundreds of them now, moving into positions throughout the solar system. Are they going to attack us? Asked Defense Secretary Natalie Richards. No, Catherine replied. They haven't shown any aggression toward Earth at all. They've only acted against the Council fleet, and even then, they just disabled the ships without hurting anyone. They want to talk to our leaders. What about those doors that appeared on Earth? Asked President Eric Monroe. The ones that your scientists said formed on their own after your test? Dr. Alan Collins stepped forward. We've found 17 spontaneous doors across Earth. All are inactive right now, but stable. We think our experiment somehow woke up or turned on a sleeping network. A network that spreads across the entire galaxy, Catherine added. Maybe even farther. So we accidentally invited unknown aliens into our solar system, the president said, frowning. Not exactly unknown, Alan corrected. The Doormakers have shared some basic information. They say they represent species that lived in this galaxy long before the Council existed. They've been watching and waiting. For what? Natalie asked. Catherine's face showed a mix of emotions. For a species to rediscover the doors on their own. They say it's only happened 3 times in the last 1,000,000 years. The room went quiet as everyone thought about what this meant. The Council, President Monroe realized aloud. They knew about this all along. Catherine nodded. The Doormakers say the Council has deliberately stopped certain types of scientific research across all their member species. They've created a galactic society that depends on their controlled technologies while hiding the existence of the doors. Why would they do that? Asked Natalie. Control, Alan replied simply. The doors can't be regulated or restricted. Anyone can use them to go anywhere. That makes it much harder for a central authority to stay in power. President Monroe stood up and walked to the window. He looked up at the night sky. So what happens next? Catherine checked her tablet as a new message appeared. The Doormakers have invited us to meet them. They want to talk to Earth's leaders. Not on their ships, not in our buildings, but through the doors. They say it's time for us to see what's on the other side. 1 month after the first meeting with the Doormakers, Earth had changed forever. Doors had been activated in every major city. People traveled between countries in seconds rather than hours. The world's economy transformed as shipping and travel became instant. But the biggest change was happening beyond Earth. Catherine stood in the United Nations building, watching as more delegates arrived through the main door. Today was special. Representatives from 50 nations would travel together through the Great Door, a massive version built in Central Park, to attend the first Galactic Council of Free Worlds meeting, where Earth would be officially welcomed. President Monroe approached her looking nervous but excited. Ready for the big day, Admiral? As ready as I'll ever be, she replied, though I'm still getting used to going through the doors. It feels strange to step from New York to another planet without feeling any movement. Better than spending months in a spaceship, the president said with a smile. Dr. Collins tells me over 10,000 people have already moved to the coalition worlds for work or study. The knowledge exchange programs are overflowing with applicants. Catherine nodded. Earth is changing fast. Maybe too fast for some. Not everyone was happy about the sudden contact with alien civilizations. Some religious groups saw the doors as unnatural. Some governments worried about losing control of their borders. And some people simply feared the unknown. The Council fleet is still out there, Catherine reminded the president. The Doormakers have them contained, but they've been sending messages to their homeworlds. We should expect a response eventually. Let them come, Monroe said confidently. With the door network growing every day, they can't stop what's happening. The age of isolation is over. Later that day, the Earth delegation stepped through the Great Door together. The massive ring, 200 feet across, had been set up in the middle of a green field in Central Park. Thousands of people watched from behind barriers as their leaders walked into what looked like a giant mirror that showed another world. On the other side was the largest gathering place Catherine had ever seen, a vast open-air amphitheater on a planet called Nexus. The sky above was deep purple, with 3 moons visible even in daylight. Surrounding the amphitheater were tall spires and beautiful buildings that seemed to be made of crystal and light. Representatives from over 90 different species filled the amphitheater. Some looked almost human. Others were completely alien, floating clouds of light, towering insect-like beings, small creatures that seemed to be made of living metal. At the center of the amphitheater stood 3 figures that Catherine recognized as the leaders of the coalition: Terrazon, the glowing humanoid; Crystallis, the crystal being; and Vaporon, a shifting cloud of luminous gas that somehow maintained a distinct form. "Welcome, people of Earth." Terrazon's voice reached everyone, somehow understood by all despite their different languages. "Today marks a historic moment as your world joins the coalition of free worlds." The crowd of aliens cheered and made various sounds of approval. Catherine noticed that the Earth delegation looked overwhelmed, but proud. For too long, the Council of Central Worlds has controlled the development of emerging species, Terrazon continued. They have hidden technologies, restricted travel, and prevented true exchange of knowledge, all to maintain their position of power. Crystallis stepped forward, light reflecting through its body in beautiful patterns. Earth is the 4th world to independently rediscover the door technology in the last 1,000,000 years. This rare achievement shows humanity's potential and creative thinking. The activation of Earth's dormant doors has triggered a cascade effect throughout the galaxy, added Vaporon, its voice like wind through leaves. Thousands of lost doors are awakening. The network that once connected all worlds is rebuilding itself. President Monroe stepped forward to address the gathering. On behalf of Earth, we are honored to join the coalition. We have much to learn, but also much to offer. Humanity is eager to take its place among the stars. As he spoke, a commotion broke out at the edge of the amphitheater. A group of aliens pushed their way forward. Catherine recognized them as council species, including several that looked like Overseer Vax Teal. "This gathering is illegal," shouted one of them, his translator making his voice harsh and metallic. "The coalition violates council law. These doors are forbidden technology." Terrazon remained calm. "Council Observer Zexmore, you are welcome to observe, but this is not a council world. Your laws have no power here. The council will not stand for this rebellion," Zexmore warned. "Our main fleet approaches. The door network will be shut down." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Catherine stepped closer to President Monroe, concerned about the rising tension. Vaporon floated higher, drawing everyone's attention. "The time of council dominance is ending. For too long, you have controlled the development of younger species, keeping them dependent on your technologies and your rules." "We protected them," Zexmore shouted. "Without our guidance, they would destroy themselves and others. Or perhaps they would surpass you," Crystallis replied calmly. "Perhaps that is what you truly fear." Catherine noticed that the council representatives were growing agitated. She caught the eye of Terrazon and nodded toward them. Terrazon understood her concern. "This is a day of celebration," Terrazon announced to the gathering. "Let us not allow old conflicts to overshadow new beginnings. Council Observer, you and your colleagues are welcome to stay and learn about the coalition, or you may return to your vessels." Zexmore glared, but said nothing more. He and his group retreated to the edge of the amphitheater. The ceremony continued, with each coalition species welcoming Earth in their own way. Catherine found herself deeply moved by the genuine warmth shown by beings so different from humans. After the formal ceremony, Catherine wandered through the gathering, meeting representatives from dozens of worlds. She was surprised by how many of them seemed familiar with Earth. "We have been watching your world for centuries," explained a small, furry being with 6 eyes. "Many of us advocated for making contact before the council found you, but we were outvoted. The coalition does not interfere with developing worlds unless absolutely necessary. So you just watched us struggle?" Catherine asked, slightly bothered by this. "We watched you grow, corrected the alien. Each species must find its own path. Those who are given everything learn nothing. The Council's method of guiding younger species has produced dependent civilizations that never reach their potential. Catherine considered this. And now? Now you have earned your place, the alien said simply. By rediscovering the doors, humanity has shown it is ready. Later that evening, Catherine stood with Dr. Collins on a balcony overlooking the alien city. Lights twinkled in buildings of impossible shapes. Flying vehicles moved smoothly between towers that seemed too delicate to stand. I checked the door network status, Collins said, looking at his tablet. Over 3,000 new doors activated across the galaxy today. The network is growing exponentially. And the Council fleet? Catherine asked. The doormakers' ships are tracking them. They're still coming, but they can't stop what's happening now. Too many worlds are connecting to the network. Catherine looked up at the strange stars above them. Do you think we've done the right thing? Joining the coalition? Collins was quiet for a moment. The Council gave us technology but kept us dependent and isolated. The coalition offers knowledge and freedom. He smiled. I think humanity has always preferred freedom, even with its risks. Definitely, Catherine agreed. We've never been good at following other people's rules. As they spoke, a new door activated in the plaza below them, a connection to yet another world joining the growing network. People of various species gathered around it, cheering as new beings stepped through. The Council tried to control humanity, Collins observed. Catherine smiled. Then the doors opened. The end.